Hi, I'm Katy.
And I'm Miles.
And this is The Films That Ruined Us, where we take a deep dive into the movies that have left an indelible mark on our lives.
Some movies traumatized us, some inspired us, and others have just refused to leave our heads no matter how hard we try.
Each week, we'll each pick one of those unforgettable films and dissect why it's so iconic, or in some cases, why it's so infamous.
From cult classics to blockbusters, we'll cover it all from my perspective as a filmmaker.
And from mine as a lifelong movie fanatic.
So, grab some popcorn, settle in, and let's talk about the films that ruined us. Hello everybody, and welcome to another spanking new episode of The Films That Ruined Us. Good morning, Katy.
Hey everyone, hello, how are we doing? Gosh, it's a lovely sunny day and we've got some lovely things to talk about in a minute.
We don't, do we?
Well, one of them's quite cute.
Yes, they're both beautiful
the other one,
films, but yeah.
How many years are there between them? Because Up was quite a while ago now.
Was Up 2009? Am I getting that wrong?
I think it was.
Wow, and Watership Down was 1978, which is the year you were born?
Yes, it's as old as me.
If you've listened to the episode so far, you'll know that, the title of the podcast is The Films That Ruined Us, and lots of people would immediately bring to mind certain films. You might say Dark Crystal, you might say Return to Oz, you might say, but certainly mine and yours this week are definitely films that people would agree ruined them on an emotional level.
Yeah, and these aren't necessarily animated films that we watched as kids, although we did talk about perhaps that being the case. And Watership Down was definitely up there for me. If I was going to choose something from my childhood, Land Before Time, something like that. Maybe An American Tale. Both amazing movies, and I still sing that beautiful song from American Tale. Somewhere out there, beneath the pale moonlight, there's someone thinking of me. I've got all the lyrics wrong.
That's better than I couldn't remember the next bit because it was
Keep Me Safe from Harm Tonight, was it, or something like that?
Yeah, and it was a really nicely animated film, that one. So, because animated films, which is the topic of this week's chat, is everyone's seen animated films. Everyone has their favourite. And some people have an opinion, which we can go into with Watership Down, actually, that animated films are either for kids, or they're too cutesy, or they are whatever. But I think you can't say that now because animation it's not a genre, as Guillermo del Toro so eloquently said. It is a art form. So it's just another way of telling a story. And actually, as some TV shows based on animations, as in hand-drawn or computer animations have shown, sometimes the hand-drawn animation is the best version, usually. I'm not mentioning any film studios in particular, but because you'll have your favorites. But I like it when they give it a stab at updating something for the modern age. But I think they did do Watership Down a few years ago for TV, and it was computer animated, and it had some very good moments, and because it's a great story. But I would go with the 70s version any day.
Yeah, it was magical, really. And then when you compare the two, Up, which is what I've chosen, far more modern, because I just love it so much. I think you can compare the technology that's shifted between now and Watership Down. But yeah, it's amazing how they've been able to capture some of that magic, but digitally. But
it's a very beautiful film.
Yeah, Watership Down's on another level, though. I mean, I was watching it again. I just completely forgotten the craft, the art and the craft that goes into it, and it's so dark.
Very dark, yeah. And this is apparently they had a lot of trouble getting it financed, and I was I had the commentary on yesterday on the BFI Blu-ray, which is fantastic, with the director, writer, producer Martin Rosen, but he only became the director after a year because the director they had wasn't working out and the style was not working out. And he said to his investors, well, what shall I do? And they said, well, what do you want to do? And he went, I want to start again. And they said, all right, okay, if you've still got the vision, you can start again. But imagine working for a year and then finding out that that's not what you wanted. But he was breaking ground, you know. It's because the book by Richard Adams is an amazing book. And, you know, I would say if you haven't read the book, and whether you've seen the film or not, give it a read because it is an amazing book. It's like sort of like the Bible for rabbits. And it even starts with like a creation myth about the prince of all rabbits, El Herrera, which is an amazing bit of animation based on apparently Aboriginal art.
Wow.
Which is how God created all the animals and birds. And then the rabbits went everywhere and ate everything. So God had to create enemies to eat them, which is basically nature, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
You know?
There's a lot of themes in it that we'll definitely get into. But John Hurt being one of the voices.
Yeah, that voice cast is incredible.
It's so good. He was definitely an actor of our youth, wasn't he, John Hurt?
Yes, and I think I heard him first on Watership Down because I think, again, we had it taped off the telly. And I thought, who is the voice of Hazel? He's got this beautiful, gravelly sort of, you know, rich, lovely voice. And then I saw The Elephant Man, which you don't get to hear John Hurt's lovely voice much in that because it's very sort of, you know, affected and stuff. But then I started seeing him things like Alien and did Man for All Seasons he's in it? Anyway, my dad was like, hey, look, that's John Hurt. Oh, right, that's Hazel. And then I started looking up all the other actors like Harry Andrews, who plays Woundwort, who's incredible. And obviously I knew who Richard Bryars was from The Good Life. But Denham Elliott, Roy Kinnear, all these incredible, all long deceased, amazing men with brilliant voices. And Joss Ackland, who's the voice of the Black Rabbit, has only just passed away.
Oh.
What
I want to know,
I think.
Bless him. Well, he had a good innings then. But what I want to know, did Hurt do Midnight Express before Watership Down or the other way around? Because that's a pretty dark film.
Midnight Express, yeah. It's an Alan Parker movie. I'm not sure. I'd have to look up the dates for that. Maybe
Made
as
in the
you're
same
listening
year.
to this. Oh, okay. Well, animation takes longer. So, because they were talking, the filmmakers were talking about, you know, how long does an average film take to make? And apparently, and this is from experience and from listening to the Watership Down commentary, the average it takes a film to go from concept to screen is 7 years, which sounds right to me. If you're doing it properly through the studio and stuff. And I think it took 5 years from him buying the book and reading the book to getting the film out, which is not bad considering they wasted a year with the wrong director. So
it happens.
Yeah. And apparently Martin Rosen had so much trouble getting this pitched to investors and salespeople because they were like, "What is it for kids?" Well, not really, but it's animation. Yeah, but it's like for adults. Okay, but it's about rabbits, so it's cute. No, it's not cute. Right. So who's this film for?
Yeah, it's pretty traumatic. I was just thinking, is there anything else I could have like chosen instead of Up? Because I feel like Watership Down is quite traumatic and Up is obviously sad initially, but the only other one I can think of as a kid was When the Wind Blows, you know, Raymond Briggs.
No, I think we can't discuss that. It's too sad and it's too prevalent. And, you know, you and I grew up in the 80s in the Cold War and stuff. So we've been through that. And to some extent, every generation since nuclear power was invented panics about nuclear war. And it's too much. It's too much. You know, I can only just about cope with Watership Down, but Up, I think many, many listeners will go, no, Up traumatized me. And they'll all say, oh, it's that first 5 minutes, which 10. We can come to.
Oh,
first 10 minutes, yeah.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, incredible story.
Oh, it's amazing. So why did you pick this movie? Why is Watership Down the film that ruined you?
I think when I think about films that absolutely ruined me, it's films I can't not cry while watching. So E.T. was one of them when I was a kid. And Watership Down's way up there. If I was sort of to pick the top 3 most upsetting films, Watership Down would be one, but I do watch it every couple of years, and I did watch it yesterday, but I watched it with the commentary on, so I was slightly emotionally removed from it's this beautiful 4K print, so I could see it was all beautiful, but I know it so well. I thought, I don't think I can emotionally put myself through watching Watership Down today, so I'll just listen to the director's commentary and watch all the making of and stuff. But yeah, it was on a video, it was on telly, it was on a video, because I was too young to see it at the cinema. But I was obsessed with it, and I had the picture book, which is annotated by Richard Adams, where he's talking about the difference between the film and what he wrote in the book. And it has all these amazing pictures. And I remember just reading that over and over and over again. It was cells from the film. So they'd taken actual stills from the film and rejigged them a little bit. And so you could see all the cell animation and stuff and then watch it, compare it to the film. But in the middle, there was a picture of General Woundwort that used to scare the crap out of me. I couldn't actually look at it because he's a scary rabbit.
He's terrifying. I must have been, well, I would have been younger than you when I saw that. And I just used to have nightmares, like of scratches and burrows. And oh, God, it was traumatizing.
Yeah, he's a very affecting villain. And apparently he has been compared to Darth Vader and stuff in terms of... And I think every element was there. You know, yes, it was animation. So I was a kid. I was into animation and cartoons and stuff. And I watched it and I thought, this ain't Bugs Bunny, you know. But the characters are phenomenal. So the way Richard Adams wrote them in the novel, and then they changed a lot for the film, just because it's an 80-minute, 90-minute film. They had to combine some characters into one character and not have so many characters. Plus, they had to make them all look a bit different and just have them have different traits. So, you know, Hazel's the leader, but he's quite stoic and calm. Bigwig is the officer who thinks he's in charge and is hilarious, but actually isn't. But Bigwig is the comic relief. He's amazing. And then, yeah, great villains, great comic relief, and just it looks stunning. It's the British countryside, and they've rendered it in these beautiful sort of washes, and you could literally just watch the film and not listen to it and get a lot from it because it's got. And I live now in the countryside, so I see these kind of things every day. You know, birds and ducks and cornfields and fields and viaducts and all this kind of stuff. And it's just this gorgeous world that's rendered. You know.
Is it one of those films that, you know, if you had a bit of a dark checkered past like me, that you were told if you put like a song from Pink Floyd on and then took some acid, it was like perfectly timed to all the things that were happening on the screen? Or was that some other movie? Maybe it was The Wizard of Oz. I don't know.
I think Wizard of Oz, if you put some Pink Floyd on, it's supposed to match up, isn't it? But I don't know. I mean, the thought of taking acid and watching Watership Down... You don't need it. It's quite trippy as it is, you know. It takes some flights of fancy. Don't do drugs. Just don't do them, and don't do them and watch Watership Down.
God no.
And it's one of those films. Would I necessarily show it to my young nieces? Probably not. I'd probably wait a bit and then say, look, watch it, because it's just been upgraded it's only just come out on 4K. I've been waiting a year.
Yeah.
Because it got upgraded from a U to a PG finally, so they had to repackage it and everything, and that's taken a year. So finally, it's out.
Is this the same niece whose favourite film is Terminator 2, but you won't let her watch Watership Down?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. She wants to watch Titanic now, and I'm like, well, I took my little sis, who's now in her late 30s, to see Titanic when she was 10, and she loved it. And now Athena, my 9-year-old niece, is going, can I see Titanic? So but kids are more sophisticated. I wouldn't force a film like that on a kid. I wouldn't say to my 6-year-old niece, Roma, I wouldn't say, hey, let's watch a lovely cuddly rabbit movie, because I would feel so bad if it made her cry. Oh,
God, it's terrifying.
If, like me and like Athena, she gravitated towards watching these, I want to watch this film, I'm enjoying it, I would let them, and my sister Emmy lets them. So, but if it upsets them, she'll go, shall I turn it off?
I'm just watching clips from it now on you know, in the background, just beautifully done.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
The characters are great.
Yeah.
Now tell me, you've always got some really good bits of trivia. What can you tell me about this particular movie?
Well, like I say, it was filmed for a year with a different director. But they didn't like apparently he used a type of pen that was very busy to look at when it was moving. So it was like felt tip, and it was, you know, wiggling. And Martin Rosen, the producer, eventually the director, said, I watched the first cut and I went, this is giving me a headache. I can't do it. But eventually convinced the investors to keep going with him after a year, and said it took another couple of years to make. But they had an office in Warren Street, apparently, which I love. So, and apparently him and Terry Rawlins, who's the editor, who also went on to work on Alien. I think he got hired because of Alien and working with John Hurt and stuff. Worked on Watership Down. Apparently Terry Rawlins returned to Martin Rosen one night in the edit suite, which is this crummy little office, cold little office with the walls falling down, and just went, aren't we lucky to do what we do. And I just love that. I love those little facts. Like they just sort of work nights to get it edited, and they got all the voices that they'd recorded and used some of the facial expressions in the animation and ran around pretending to be rabbits and stuff. And I love that kind of stuff,
Did you know that Art Garfunkel's Bright Eyes, the heartbreaking ballad from the film, became a #1 hit in the UK in 1979?
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was about that age, my grandma and granddad, my mum's parents, had a holiday cottage in Fairlight down on the south coast, which is gorgeous. And they had that single and they put it on one day. And we were among all these sort of, Watership Down-esque surroundings. And that's the first time I saw a badger raiding a bin, or a lindry, as they call them in Watership Down. And my granddad went, look, it's the badger. And she put the single on the next morning. And I think that's what sort of clicked for me. I was like, wow, this is Watership Down, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it gave me an appreciation of the countryside very early on,
I think so, yeah. I think it did for all of us. And I think around the same time of our childhood, do you remember that Keep Britain Tidy campaign that came out,
Yeah, and the country code and everything. And I know, I wish people would adhere to it now.
Maybe we should just make them all watch Watership Down, look after the rabbits.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's, and obviously we'll get into the story, but it's that there's a line in the film which is, Fiver says, men have always hated us. And Holly, who's the one that escapes, and has his face all ripped up and stuff, he says, no, men, they don't hate us. They just destroyed the Warren because we were in their way. And it's so sad because that's, people are spreading across the planet, destroying everything as they go. And that's what the rabbits were accused of. So it's just this nature out of balance thing, which I think is obviously something we can all agree has continued into the present. And it's something that needs checking. And, you go past, you see these urban sprawl, and you see there's towns near me in Yorkshire where that used to be fields. And now there's another half of the town has been built, and there's these great big estates. Well, people are expanding and covering the planet, and it's a problem.
We need people, though. We need people.
We need
Miles.
people.
Who's going to pay for our pensions?
I mean, good question, but yeah. I feel like quoting Brian now from Life of Brian. Do the rabbits have jobs? And they do all right, don't they? He's having a go at the rabbits now.
Yeah.
There's a balance. And, I prefer to live in a nice warm house with central heating. So I can't really, anyone who's living in a house, I hate to say it, but that was probably, they destroyed a bunch of wildlife habitats to make the houses. Hence,
There are things you can do, though. There are things that you can do in the garden. You can build a nice little bee house and make it sort of hospitable and welcoming to little hedgehogs. That's
true. We have a hedgehog sort of rehabilitation ethos in our village. We've rescued some before that were in trouble, and we've got hedgehog highways and stuff, which is cute.
Aww.
And there's loads of birds around where I live, and in the beck there's loads of fish, and it is very unspoiled despite being a housed, area. So again, it's balance. And I think I realized very early on that how hard wild animals have it, and how lucky we are if we don't have to go out and fight for our food and fight predators. If you can wake up and just sort of yawn and go, right, I think I'll pop down and have a cup of coffee, and then wander into the garden. And it's like, well, you're very lucky because out there you see rabbits and stuff fighting for their lives and crossing railway lines and getting picked off by birds and stuff. I've seen it all,
I do like to fantasize about a zombie apocalypse and doing all that. But really, the reality would be quite harsh.
Yes, it would. Yeah, it's a nice idea. And I think you need to remember occasionally, especially you and I both live in the countryside now. Cities are very interesting places and very inspiring places, but they are also very loud and dirty. And I think when you live in the country, you do get like yesterday, just a sense of, well, the sun is rising. It is warm. Now the sun is setting. It is cold. I will go inside. I mean, it's just very simple. It's a lot simpler in the country. I will go for a walk. I will work on my computer, maybe in the garden if it's sunny. You're not boxed in as much mentally in the country, I think. So it's good to have some freedom. But at the end of the day, I do like my duvet.
Yeah, true. Same. Now, debate time. What is the Ruin debate? Do you have one, or do you want me to present one to you?
Yeah, go. I've got one, but if you want to present one to me.
Well,
I'm
I was
interested.
thinking when I was watching it last night, who's the real hero here? Is it Hazel or is it Fiver?
Yes, and I think it probably is Fiver.
Ooh.
Because everyone throughout the film is saying, when they get to the top of the down, and he says, he made it all for us. And Hazel says, Frith may have made it, but Fiver found it. And Fiver gets them out of the warren.
Yep.
And Fiver gives them the idea of the dog loose in the wood at the end. It all comes from Fiver. So he's such, because he's a runt. They call him a runt, don't they? Like Runt Fiver. But without him, they'd be dead.
Yeah, exactly. So you've basically chosen the freaked out prophet bunny.
Freaked out prophet bunny. Yeah, poor lad. But him and Hazel are a good double act because they're supposed to be brothers, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Hazel, what I love is that when Fiver sees the field covered in blood at sunset, and Hazel don't be ridiculous, but he takes him straight to the chief rabbit. And Hazel makes a case because he's like, well, Fiver can't do it, so I'm going to do it. He's like, no, he's been right about this again and again, and I believe in him. And it's like, oh, he's a really good big brother.
Yeah, yeah. I got your back. I got your
back. Yeah. So yeah, Fiver's the MVP, I think.
Oh. So there are so many beautiful scenes in this. Which is the scene stealer for you, Miles Watts? Oof.
I love the scene where they've broken all the doughs out of Ephrafa, and they're running to the bridge where they're going to meet Kihar, who looks like he hasn't shown up, but he's just eating worms, but grubs on the thing. And where is he? And the general arrives, and there's this amazing crack of lightning, and Kihar takes the opportunity to dive out of the sky, and then they think that he's like a magic bird because he's coming out of the lightning. And they run to the river and escape. And I just love that whole thing because the music and it's so exciting. And it's got this sort of almost like it's Angela Morley's soundtrack. She used to work with John Williams. So it's got this John Williams vibe. Dun, 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 dun. And the music is, in fact, the score is one of the best things in the whole movie. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think and watching it yesterday without the music and without the sound on and just the commentary, it wasn't as good. It looks beautiful, but I realized that 50% of that film is the amazing orchestral score. So yeah, it's that bit when, Bigwig is like, come on and try, you crack-brained slave driver. And then it's like lightning hits and they fight and then they run to... And there's this amazing moment where someone goes, you did it, Bigwig. And he goes, I did, didn't I? And then he looks up and Kihar just flies over really nonchalantly and he goes, it's not over yet. It's just this great, go, 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 go. There's so many moments of go, 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 go in this movie,
You find yourself shouting at the television screen, don't you?
Yeah. And then Hazel just bites the rope at the last minute and jumps and they just get away. And it's so good. But obviously, so that's probably my standout moment. But it then followed closely on the heels by the final plan where they lure the dog up the down and stuff, which is just, what an ending.
I know. The pace and it's just magical. Yeah. Brilliant choice, that one. Now, it's beautifully written. Have you a favourite quote?
I like all of Bigwig's. Well, I love the moving stuff. So I love the bit where they're running to make this amazing plan at the end, and Hazel does a little prayer, and you hear him saying, I'll give my life in exchange for theirs. And you hear Michael Horden's amazing voice as Frith going, there will be no bargain. What is what must be. And it's like, well, that's nature, isn't it? But also the end when Hazel finally dies and goes up with the black rabbit. But it's quite beautiful because it's sad that he lies down, but he's so old and like he's done his life. And Michael Horden just says, oh, don't worry about them. They'll be fine. And thousands like them. It's like, oh, it tears me up every time that ending. It's beautiful.
I think this could be another ruined debate, actually, when you think about it, because it's obviously dealing with very adult themes, of death and loss and suffering. Could we debate and say, actually, animated films which were, made for children, I guess, as well as adults, back then in the 70s, were they more authentic? Were they did they hit more than, say, the kind of Pixars and the Disneys of today?
They didn't go for the jugular. I would say that in terms of they didn't tweak your emotions and make you sort of oh, that's cute. And I mean, Bambi is a very upsetting film at the beginning when, that reminds me of Watership Down, actually. Bambi, the beginning, when the mother doesn't come back from the clearing and just shouts, "Run, Bambi, run," and you hear this gunshot, and then Bambi just looks back, and you're like, that's very Watership Down moment, because there's lots of bits like that in Watership Down. But generally, Disney and Pixar, they have these very emotional moments where they build you up, but then they rescue you. So you think like Toy Story 3, it's like, oh my God, they're all going to burn to death. Oh no, they're not. And in Up, there's moments where you think, oh, this is going to, and then, well, they give you all the horrible stuff in the first 10 minutes of that, but hey. But yeah, there's a great bit on the commentary where Martin Rosen says animated films were cutesy by the 70s, and they wanted to bring it back, take it back. And if you think about some of the animated films that have come since then, Studio Ghibli and, things like Akira and stuff like that, they're not kids movies. They're artful. It's an art form. But some of the stuff is disturbing as hell, but just because it's been hand drawn or computer animated doesn't mean it's for kids. And I think hopefully we've all realized that by now.
Yeah, God. Well, I cracked up when Hazel said, "My heart has joined the 1,000 for my friend stopped running today." I know. Traumatic.
But then Bigwig has a great bit just before that where he goes, he's taking the mick out of Five, and he goes, "Oh, I'm in a mist. Everything's bad. I have a funny feeling in my toe," and then runs off and gets into a snare. But then they rescue him, and then at the end, and he comes out of it, which is great. But yeah, he's amazing. The guy who does the voice of Bigwig. Yeah, beautiful film. But yeah, another debate could have been, is it for kids? But hey ho, like they say, when they give kids guinea pigs or hamsters as kids, it's to learn about death.
Yeah.
Like, oh, great. Here's a pet. It's going to die in 2 years.
Yeah. You're going to do everything. You're going to have dreams about it. You're going to give it a name. Yeah. You're going to feed it and clear up its poo. But yeah, it'll be gone soon.
Yeah. Or any person or animal and stuff. I think as you get older, death becomes more of a part of life. But when you're a kid, it's this very, very scary, dark, mysterious thing.
Oh, God,
so I think any film that teaches you that it's going to affect you and ruin you. And I think so, I mean, Watership Down, what have we done so far? Star Wars, Close Encounters, romantic comedies and stuff, they've affected us deeply. But I think Watership Down's probably the first in the series that's absolutely destroyed me from the inside out for years,
Yeah, I get it. Now, it's been a long while since it was released. Do you think it aged well? Is it timeless?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's timeless. It's just a great story. The book is timeless. The characters are brilliant. I think that's what gets it through the character book. I mean, Keyhar, for example, the seagull voiced by Zero Mostel, he's just amazing, and he's comic relief, and at one point does say "piss off," and apparently Zero Mostel used to like run around the studio flapping his arms pretending to be a seagull.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so it's got edge to it. It's got an edge, but that's maybe what's made it. It's very, very true, and it's very, very. It's a great story about the circle of life. And you could go for a walk in the British countryside and see most of that happening today.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think it is timeless, and it looks beautiful. It's like a series of amazing watercolors. It's
beautiful.
It's
magical.
Timeless. Yeah.
There's no way I think it would be marketed to kids today. I think it would instead be shelved next to Midsummer or something like that. And if they did make it now, it would be an A24 horror drama with a folk soundtrack and psychological trauma baked in. Definitely.
There you go. Yeah, or they'd do it like, they're doing all these properties that have expired, and they're in the public domain. So they're doing Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and all this kind of stuff, or Mickey Mouse horror films. I think there'll come a day when
ideas.
The thing is, though, Watership Down is already really upsetting. So I don't know if you could make it any more upsetting by making it a horror film. It's almost got horror film adjacent moments,
Yeah, this is probably why I don't like horror films. It's all Watership Down's fault.
Yeah, and it's very bloody. Watership Down. There's rabbits ripping each other's throats out and scratching each other's eyes out and stuff. And it's pretty savage, like nature.
I also hate the song Bright Eyes because I was trying to think, why do I hate it? I mean, I know a lot of people hate Garfunkel. But I don't really have. I think hate's probably a too strong a word. I don't really hate
maybe
anything.
not to their taste. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I was like in the shower trying to think about this. Why do I hate bright eyes burning like fire? I think it's because my mum used to sing a lot, and she would she would sing that, I think, when it was time to go to bed, maybe. And I'm still the same now. I'm 46 years old, Miles. And if Tom, my husband, says, right, I'm going to bed, there's this part of me that's 6 years old.
No.
That's like, I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay up.
Oh, really?
I want to carry on the day. I want to live.
God, you and I are so different, Katy. I'm like, I'm going to bed. Don't disturb me for 8 hours. Bye.
To be honest, I think as I've got older, I've definitely, embraced the bedroom and the lovely mattress that we have, and I'm very happy to be there. But yeah, I used to be a sort of night owl. I think I'm a lot better at getting up with the light and going to bed with the dark. Yes.
Getting up with the lark, go to bed with the dark.
Oh, that's like that. Where's that from?
Yeah. I just made it up. It's probably a thing.
Clever.
I don't know.
Oh, you're such a writer.
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah, I think it's the kind of film you think of in the early hours, Watership Down. They're hence ruined. I've played scenes of it, especially last night. I've played scenes of it in my head. And then the trailer came out recently for the new re-release, and it starts with the instrumental version of Bright Eyes, and it just set me off.
Yeah. It's, oh, bless you. Okay, so what have you learned from this wonderful movie?
It's hard being a rabbit. Now, do you know what? Have you ever seen The League of Gentlemen? There's a bit with the character of Pop when he's talking about bright eyes, and he's singing it, and he goes, "The genius of that film, Richie, is that they look like rabbits, but they walk and think like people."
Do you know, I met all of them. I went, I did some work experience at BBC Radio 1 when I was like 19 at university. It was part of my course. And one of the things I had to go to, aside from a Mike Tyson walk around in Brixton, which was wild, I had to go and see season 2 launch of The League of Gentlemen. And they asked the audience, they asked us journalists, should they put in canned laughter? And everybody said no, because we thought the audience was smart enough to know that it was a dark comedy, but they ended up putting it in anyway. And I was really gutted because I loved
That's amazing,
without.
Though.
Yeah, they were great. They were really nice people.
I've met them very briefly at a Edinburgh Fringe. They'd just won the Perrier Award, I think, in '97, and there's a guy I was working for who unfortunately died in a car crash that year, and his wife had to sort of run things, and the League of Gentlemen played as part of a memorial concert for him, which is exactly what he would have wanted. And I met them, and I met Greg Proops and people like Mackenzie Crook and stuff.
Great.
And they were a lot of fun. And they seem like really nice guys, and they're real geniuses as well. But yeah, I just love that bit. Good. Pop is such a horrible character, but he's amazing.
Dave.
Hello, Dave.
We actually have a friend called Dave, and we do that too. And then that's testament, isn't it, to a great comedy? It stands the test of time and comes into your everyday vocabulary. Oh
yeah, we were all quoting that, and then the Mighty Boosh and the Naughties, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mighty Boosh. Yeah, which one are you? You're probably the cooler one, aren't you? I'm definitely the taller character.
No, I'm probably Howard. But I'm less uptight than Howard. But I'm definitely more sort of fussy than Vince. Vince is sort of like, Vicky's probably Vince, and I'm Howard.
Yeah. Which one am I then? Shall I be the crack? Was it the crack?
You're
pipe?
The crack fox. Yeah,
crack fox.
you're the crack fox. Either that, or you're old Greg, or Milky Joe.
Oh, Milky Joe. I really love that scene. I can't remember the character's name, but he's wearing that awful pale blue flannel suit and shirt.
Yes, Bob Fossil. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got his little beer belly, bless him, hanging out.
Yes, Rich
and
Fulci,
Vince walks into his office. I think it's Vince who walks into his office, and he's just got that, I won't go for that, no. And he's just dancing around. And that's why I won't go for that, and puts the phone down. I repeat that again and again. It's like the scene out of Naked Gun with Stephanie, the learner driver. I will just put it on now and again and just howl. And then go around in a sort of vicious circle of favourite comedy moments.
Yeah, that's me. Jukeboxes, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a big key takeaway, isn't it, that animations...
Life is hard.
Yeah, life is tough. Death, violence, fear. I guess these are themes that can live in a children's story.
Yeah, but also if you look at the scenes where they go into the wood, which is one of my favourite scenes because I love the way there's this sort of blueness to everything and it's creepy and the music is creepy. And then I've never been in a wood. This is really scary. And there's birds, owls chasing them and badgers. And they all huddle together underneath the roots of a tree. Yeah. And there's various scenes in the movie where they're all huddled together for warmth. And I'm like, there you go. That's the point of life. Huddle together with your people for warmth and you'll be all right.
Yeah, it's true. Community, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Can't survive without it. I mean, if there was a zombie apocalypse, I like to joke I'd be a lone wolf, but actually you would need other humans to survive.
You would. Yeah, you would. You'd want your nearest and dearest at least. Well, I did that interview with you a few years ago, didn't I? You said, what would I need near me during a zombie apocalypse? And I said, well, obviously Vicky and my dog Edgar, but also maybe Paul and Bob, they could go fishing for me and catch some trout for cooking on the fire, so.
But, if anybody stepped out of line or got a bit too bossy, I'd just shoot them in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I like you, Katy.
Yeah. Right.
I'm always aware that you'll shoot me in the face at any minute.
Oh, gosh, I couldn't hurt a fly. No. I am literally the Monty Python of fights. If I ever had a confrontation, and I only ever had one confrontation with a woman who was half the size of me, but stacked. A woman, but she was stacked probably. See, my height was her width, I would say. So I'm 6 foot, yeah. Okay. And she punched me, and I went flying across a Blackpool nightclub in 1998.
Classic.
And skidded across the floor and landed in a crumpled heap next to the wall amongst all these discarded bottles. And I got up and I went up to her and went, "Oh, why did you do that?" So she did it again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't harm anyone.
In my very few altercations with fellow humans, I think I've punched and I've been punched just 3 or 4 times each way. Bless. Usually I punch back if I've been punched and it sort of stops things. It's amazing. But I remember once someone punched me in the face and I just went, "What did you do that for?" What did you do? Like, what? And they were like, all right, don't throw up your nuts about it. And I'm like, what the? It just blindsided me. Yeah.
I know. Do you know, I know we're going off topic a little bit here, and I do have to ask you in a minute what your rune scale. But I had a dream about Simon Pegg the other night in his kind of
So did Katy.
years.
What was yours about? So did Vicky. What was yours about?
I dreamt that Tom had died in a tragic car accident.
Oh,
and
lovely.
Simon Pegg was like basically becoming friends with me, and he wanted to go out with me, but we became mates and we were playing video games together, and he was like, we were just hanging about like bloke mates, like pretty much me and Tom really, and every other bloke mate I've got. And he kept sort of trying to ask me out, and I kept saying, there was only one man for me and he's gone.
No.
And I woke up and I was like, oh, Tom.
That's cute though.
Did fancy Simon Pegg when I was a kid, though.
I think a lot of people did. He was cool, wasn't he? I think, and he still is cool. Vicky had a dream last night about Simon Pegg that I had to film an event he was at, but apparently she said he was so boring, we all stopped and went home. This is pretend, obviously.
That's funny. That is funny.
Because I don't think he's a boring person, really, and I'm sure.
No, I'm sure he's lovely. I'm sure him and Nick are ace fun.
Yeah, they seem great.
Yeah. So what are we giving Watership Down out of 10 for ruin scale?
It's a 10.
Ooh,
it's a 10.
It's a 10, listeners.
Without a doubt. Because it's
writing it down.
It's coming up to 50 years old, this film, and I play bits of it in my head all the time.
No.
I know the soundtrack.
Hang on. Rewind. It's coming up to 50 years old. Hang on, it was made in 1978. I was made in 1978. Sugar. My goodness.
You got 3.5 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but look at Jennifer Lopez. That's what I always say.
I'd love to. Yeah. Yeah, I know. She's a right babe at any age.
Have you seen her in that movie where she
She's the pole dancer.
Yeah.
We all watched that. I watched that with 2 of my female friends, Vicky and Lindsay, and they both went, she's so fit.
I watched that film and I had a funny feeling in my tummy.
I've got a funny feeling in my toe.
She was stunning. Hustlers. That's what it's called.
Hustlers, that's the one. Yeah, she's something to behold in that, isn't she? She's amazing.
God, what a woman.
Good film. Very good film.
A woman. And Constance Wu. Oh my God, she's stunning.
Yes. Yes. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I've turned into Dougal from Father Ted.
I know, we're just being creepy now. We're being creepy.
Yeah.
Well, there, Ted, do you think she would want to go out with a priest? Dougal, little Dougal.
No,
well, what would you be doing on a date, Ted?
With Jennifer Lopez.
Isn't there an episode of Father Ted when he has to explain the birds and the bees to...
Yes, probably a few, actually.
Probably. Yeah, bless him.
No, Ted. No, I wasn't asking about that. We're rewatching that at the moment, actually. It's still great.
Oh, it's so good.
Recommendation, then, if you like...
Yes.
Well, if you like Watership Down... Go and watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. No, although do, because they did the Plague Dogs as well, which is another Richard Adams thing, and they did similar. Same people made it. I can't watch that film because first of all, it's about dogs in peril. Can't do it. Like people can't watch if they've got kids. They can't watch kids in peril.
I know.
And their dogs, they're being experimented on. So they've got shaved heads and things, and it's the same reason I couldn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Just still never seen.
Oh.
Because it's got animal experimentation in it. I mentioned it to a friend of mine and she said, it's quite sad, actually. I can't do it. Can't do it. I can go my whole life and not watch films with animal experimentation in.
Do you know what? I get it.
That's me.
I get it. Yeah. No judgment here.
Ooh, I know what. Watch, and this might be controversial to some, watch the director's cut of Donnie Darko. Because... Ooh. Obviously the original cut's the superior because it's brilliant, but in the director's cut, what he did, and Martin Rosen mentions this, he said they actually licensed a bit of footage from Watership Down because it's about, they've got a rabbit theme throughout, and it's about predicting the end of the world and that kind of thing. So there are a lot of links, but apparently, but the director's cut is pretty good. As a different view of the film, it's more literal. It's more like a comic book, and it's got clips from Watership Down, and they analyze Watership Down in the class with Drew Barrymore. So yeah. That's
good recommendations. Adding to the list. Brilliant. Yes. Okay, so that is Watership Down. There are people crying into their cereals or dinners right now, remembering the trauma. But now we're going to cheer things up a little bit with the most traumatizing recent movie in recent times. Yes, and we're talking about Disney Pixar's Up. Oh my goodness.
Which gets it all out in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it tricked me because, Pixar basically said, here's a fun adventure with a grumpy old man and a floating house and loads of colourful, gorgeous balloons. And then it basically punched me in the soul in the first 10 minutes. Montage with Ellie. Gosh, I can so relate to that because Ellie is basically me when I was a kid, proper tomboy. Me and Tom like together, we've been together for 20 years. He is my best friend. I loved him the minute I saw him. Took us a while to get together, but we got there in the end. Couldn't live without him. We are literally it's so funny. I've got a bestie called Paul who's he's known us for a very long time. He says it's really funny if one of us goes on holiday without the other and he sees them, it's like both of us are little penguins just pining after the other one, and we're just not we're definitely two separate people with our individual friends and lives and passions and all the rest of it, but we definitely are the best of friends. So when I watched that first 10 minutes, I was like, oh my God, one day there might be no Tom and there might be no me. That might be Tom on his own.
Don't say that. Do you know what? Me and Vicky are exactly the same as everything you've just described. Everything, and I was walking around the block yesterday with Edgar, thinking I couldn't deal with it if she wasn't here.
I know.
What's the point?
I know, and it could happen at any time, and that's why life is so precious. You've got, but I'm not trying to be dark, Miles. It's true. You've got to have that pessimism to have the optimism. You know what I mean? Because it makes you really appreciate every moment. And I have this thing that my mum used to say. My mum's hilarious. Oh God, if she's listening to this, sorry, Mum. But when we were kids, if we left the house, without kissing everybody and saying goodbye to everybody. She would say something really dark, like she would just look at you. My mum's from the Northeast, and I think it's a Durham thing. That's what I'm blaming it on, an Irish stock thing. She would just look at me and go, you know, if you leave the house and don't say goodbye properly to everyone, it might be the last time you see us.
That's brilliant.
But I'm the same now. Like Tom goes out all the time. I work from home. It's very rare that I'll go and work on site. He works on site quite a lot. He'll leave the house and I'll shout down the stairs at him the very same thing. I'll be like, you could be in a nasty car accident. The knock on the door might be the police. And he'll go, sorry, and come running up the stairs and give me a kiss goodbye. I mean, traumatizing. So
it really is. You know, let's talk about that first 10 minutes in a bit as well, because you know, we'll talk about what happens with Ellie, and because, you know, I've got a chronically ill partner. You've had a lot of health issues, so we live with long-term illness, and everybody does. Everyone's either got it or got a loved one that has a long-term illness or something. So, you know, is that sort of why you picked the film, because it absolutely smacked you upside the head in the first 10 minutes?
Yeah, well, I've always loved animated movies. I mean, you know, being creative, I find them such an amazing art form. I think it's incredible the strides we've made with the technology and the techniques, and it's just magical. And who doesn't love Disney and Pixar? But I chose it because it is very close to the bone. Edward Asner, who plays Carl Fredricksen, he's a quiet little, in those first 10 minutes, you realize he's a very quiet, shy little introvert. And this is probably a little bit of Tom. Although, to be fair, Tom is way more sociable than I am. But anyway. And then along comes this nutter, i.e. me. Who basically fills his world with adventure and surprise. And then, you know, he sees over the years the fact that life gets in the way. You know, they're sort of saving for this big adventure that they're going to go on. And that little kind of money jar keeps getting raided to like pay for broken things. And eventually... You know, and there's a lot of things. I mean, it isn't close to the bone in terms of, you know, when she realizes she can't have children. I chose not to have children. You know, I deliberately chose to have a life as, you know, I hate the term child-free by choice, but that's kind of the thing. It just wasn't for me. I loved children. And then here I go justifying my decision again, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I love children, but it just wasn't my destiny. And, but it's how you sort of start off with this big adventure to heart. And she carries it on. You can see she carries it on, and then until, of course, the inevitable happens and she gets ill and she dies. And when she's gone, Carl's world is completely finished and you are just in bits. And the other thing about the movie is the story that his house used to be part of a beautiful neighborhood. And funny enough, this has weirdly got themes of Watership Down, right?
Yeah.
There's all these big developments, and the way the movie depicts these people who are these developers, these, you know, people going around with walkie-talkies looking very serious. And they're building these massive skyscrapers in his beautiful old neighborhood. So it's about how things sadly always change and we lose things and people that are dear to us. But, and this is the clincher, that doesn't mean that you should just give up. It's not that life suddenly ends and there's no adventure left. And it takes a gorgeous little character who's probably one of my favorite ever animated characters, Russell, to remind Carl that that's the case, that, you know, okay, so it's very sad you've lost your best friend, but actually there is another chapter opening up, and so then we go on this fabulous adventure with the two very lovable characters, although it takes a while for, you know, Russell for Carl to warm up to Russell, but when he does, just so lovely.
It's so funny, that classic Odd Couple, isn't it? Have you ever seen a film called Batteries Not Included? from the
Yes.
80s.
Oh my goodness.
So
I love it.
it's again with the little house surrounded by the big skyscrapers. That's what it reminded me of. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where I get my kind of socialist leanings, because it was always about this awful big corporation wanting to take away a community and destroy something that had always been. And isn't that wonderful at the end of Batteries Not Included when those little aliens rebuild the entire building and then it just stays in the middle? Do you think that is paying tribute to that a little bit?
I think it could be because it's such a specific image in Batteries Not Included that and they know, John Lasseter at Pixar used to work with George Lucas and stuff because Pixar is from George Lucas's, endeavors. So there are links, I think. And I think it's fine that it's because no one saw that movie. so it's fine. You mentioned it to most people if they're our age, they'll be like, oh yeah, Batteries Not Included.
Yeah.
But most people are like, what? It's like if you mention Slipstream starring Mark Hamill, people go, what?
I've not heard of that. I'm looking it up now. 1987, Batteries Not Included.
Yes.
What a great film. And it had all those classic characters that were also in Cocoon. It was very much a kind of series. It was like a cast of actors that were in various different films of that era. Jessica Tandy. Who was
Hume
that
Cronin.
fantastic older woman? Oh, what was her name? Oh, she was fabulous. She was the one who was sort of... was it Jessica Tandy?
Jessica Tandy, yeah.
Yes, it was. Good grief.
And Hume Cronin, and they were married in real life, and they always used to play a couple in Cocoon and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh yes. Them. Sorry, this is me. I've just got a terrible memory. They were great, but anyway,
they were brilliant.
Do you know if that building? Sorry, I'm going off on one. Do you know if that building in Batteries Not Included actually exists Is it in New York?
I mean, I would have to say probably not, but I don't know. But my guess would be they created it for the movie. Either there was a gap and they built that house within it, or it was a set or a frontage or a painting or something. But to be honest, I haven't seen that film for 30 years, so I'm quite tempted to go watch it now, actually.
Yeah, I am. It's great. It's magical. Lots of little stories and people all coming together. Anyway, we digress.
We do. We're good at that.
Yes.
I'm just looking at bits of trivia for this film. There's loads of amazing little facts and stuff. Do you have a favourite one? Because I'm just like, there's so many good ones.
Well, I'm just reading this now. Carl's character was based partly on Spencer Tracy and Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau. Oh, yeah.
Matthau.
Yeah, Odd Couple, yeah.
Two grumpy yet lovable old men from Hollywood's golden age. And the square face shape was totally intentional to reflect how boxed in he felt emotionally. I don't know where. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've got in front of me.
It might be. Oh, it might be. I was just reading that apparently in Germany, Doug the dog gets distracted by cats, not squirrels, because cat was easier for him to say Katze, because squirrel in German is Eichhorchen.
Oh my goodness me!
Eichhornchen for all German speakers. Eichhornchen. So yeah, he would have had to say Eichhornchen every time instead of Katze.
Do you know one of my besties? That's my nickname from him. He always just calls me Doug.
All right, Doug.
Yeah, I don't think I have ADHD, but I do have a tendency to get distracted easily and go off on one.
Well, we both do, don't we?
Yeah, I think it's just our creative brains. We just love immersing ourselves in lots of different things at the same time. But I have I've been immersed in conversation with said friend before, and been talking quite deeply about something, and then just gone, "Oh my God, look at the moon!"
I mean, that is an ADHD trait, but I think sometimes. I think in the mornings, because I have slower mornings than you do, I have at least a couple of hours where I can gather my thoughts, and I don't think you do, or you sort of call to action immediately and you're off.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes with me in the mornings, you're like, all right, I haven't woken up yet. And I'm going, and then by about 12 or 1, you're going, and I'm like, so, we all have our speeds, don't we?
Yeah, I think mine is warp speed, and I kind of believe my parents' nicknames for me when I was a kid, which was either Tigger or the Tasmanian Devil, which is probably quite Yeah, quite true.
We call my 6-year-old niece, Roma, we call her the Tasmanian devil because she enters a room and it's like...
Amazing.
Tigger, I can definitely see you as Tigger. I like to bounce.
Oh, my dad used to do an impression of him. It always made my heart leap, whenever I heard my dad do that impression. Bless him. Shout out to mum and dad. I mean, we can't help but talk about our families, can we? I mean, these are the films that ruined us,
Well, I think what we've realised, and I've said this off air as well as on air, is I mentioned my dad a lot because my dad is a film fan. So he's like, hey, why don't you watch this? Hey, why don't you watch this? And he definitely stoked the fire as when I was a kid of my movie love. So you can't ignore that,
No, you can't ignore where you come from and the people that made you. So ruined debate. Have you got anything in mind? Because I'm sort of a bit stuck with this.
Okay, I'm going to... This is quite a specific question. Do you think the first 10 minutes of this is more traumatic than the last 10 minutes of Toy Story 3?
Oh my goodness me. I'm going to say yes.
Okay, there you go.
Because, I mean, I know those toys are real.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
Up is a little bit more realistic. It's based on, people, even though they're
Life.
animated characters. Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
And little Russell is just so adorable, played by, and we looked up how to pronounce his name, and it was Jordan Nugai. Nagai. Sorry, apologies, Jordan.
Yeah.
And he just plays it so well. His cute little voice perfectly suits the gorgeous chubby round face of Russell, just determined to get his badge. And I love that scene when he's sort of taken off to escape the old, the care home people who are quite sinister, actually. And God, I mean, it makes you not look forward to your older age, because I'd want to probably do the same. And I actually want to know if it's possible. Yeah, possible to lift your house from the foundations and just go off on an adventure.
People have tried.
But he's on the porch. But he gets a knock on the door and he's on the porch holding, can I come in? And he's like, no, and slams the door. And then there's a moment and the poor little bugger is just sort of holding on for dear life. I mean, he is just so gorgeous. I just want to squeeze his cheeks.
And you need that massive laugh at that point, though, because it's a very... the premise is very far-fetched. Oh yeah, he's in a float. But they just do it with such precision and such massive heart and laughs that you just buy it. Like with Ratatouille. I saw the trailer for Ratatouille and I'm like, so the rat's going to pull the guy's hair. How does that? And then I'm like, oh, he's like a puppet. I get it.
So good. That is another excellent movie. I also think, is Ellie the true main character? But even though she's only in it, briefly, the whole sort of movie revolves around her. Carl's entire journey is a tribute to her memory, you could say.
Yeah. And she couldn't have kids. They couldn't have kids together. And Russell is like a adopted kid for Carl. So, that's beautiful. That's always good in life as well. When you form connections in a different way than you might think you would, you know what I mean? Friendships and making friends with young people. And it's always very rewarding.
I don't know which country it is. It might be Denmark or Sweden, but they have care homes that are sort of mixed in with nurseries. So the children get to play or interact with the older people who are permanently on site, and it's supposed to be really good for both sides of the coin.
It's amazing.
I think it's great.
It's a brilliant idea. And that's just, again, it's about life, because people, especially, I don't know if in Britain, the elderly tend to get shoved away. Like, you're old now, you're useless. It's like, are you joking? I used to get some amazing stories off my grandparents about anything I asked them about, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I used to, and they're these sort of mines of information.
I know.
And you got to respect them,
Well, my nana was born in 1912,
And mine were. All my grandparents were born in 1912, I think.
Good grief. The year the Titanic sunk.
That's right. And my mum's granddad, I think I'm right there, worked on the Titanic, but he wasn't responsible for it sinking. He was one of the riveters. Ooh. So when it was being put together in, I guess, Liverpool. Might have been when it went to Southampton to get finished, because they sort of built the hull in Liverpool and then finished the rivets and the metal off in Southampton, I think.
We'd have to look that up if we ever did a Titanic
Yeah.
But I got a sinking feeling that won't happen. Oh.
But
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite quote from Up?
Ooh. Adventure is out there. Pure optimism.
Yes.
I guess it makes me want to, get that walking backpack from the attic that I haven't used in 15 years and just sort of catch it, go to the airport and go, right, where are we going to go? What flight is available? Yeah. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. Because life is short and adventure is out there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, it's sad, this film, but it's beautiful.
I know. And then thinking of all the beautiful scenes. So if we were going to think of a scene, Steeler, it would be definitely the married life montage because it's beautiful and so cleverly done because there's a sort of before and after of very similar scenes.
Yes.
Somebody on YouTube, I think it was, cleverly put them together to show you how beautifully that was done.
Yes.
But, the rest of the movie could have just been Carl sitting in his chair. I would still give it 5 stars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like, I know what you mean. The first act is got everything in it, hasn't it?
It's the works.
The great comedy in the second and third act, and it's very moving, and it's some amazingly beautiful scenery and moments and huge epic adventure that they always wanted to go on, and it's all thanks to Russell.
Did you see that Airbnb had the actual house of Up with the balloons that you could go and rent and you could stay in for a night?
That'd be amazing.
I have it on my phone, a picture of it. I've got it on my phone as my sort of screensaver because I just think it's so joyful, the film and the message and the characters. And it is one of my favourite movies, definitely.
I love how mad it is as well. Like there's moments where, that it's going over the cliff and they're like, you think, oh my God, are they going to go over the cliff? And it is quite, for a film it's a ridiculous premise. They're floating a house over the mountains on helium balloons. But every time one pops, you're like, oh shit. And you really get into that vibe of, oh God, I'm up here with them,
It's got a bit of Indiana Jones about it, hasn't it?
It does. It's like, especially like Dial of Destiny. It's like where he's a crotchety old archaeologist anyway. Carl is a bit like that. And the young Russell is a bit like young Indy, River Phoenix.
Or his little sidekick in Temple of Doom.
Yes, exactly. Ki Hai Kwan, the Oscar-winning Ki Hai Kwan now, which is great to be able to say.
And I sent you that clip, didn't I, on Instagram of them both meeting each other at a premiere or something.
I know, and I love the fact that he, the interviewer says, are you proud of Key? And Harrison just goes, I don't need to be proud of him because everything this kid has done is his pride is his own. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
So cute. It's so Harrison forward, isn't it?
I know, it is, yeah. He's very sentimental in his old age and I'm here for it. I am here for it.
I know.
Do you have any more favourite quotes or do you want to move on to Did It Age Well?
Did I have any more favourite quotes? Gosh, I mean, there's so many, isn't there? I'm just trying to have a look now. Well, squirrel is obviously squirrel. Because I say it on a daily basis. Whoa, squirrel. I am your, and actually, it's not just, can I just say, it's not just that my friend calls me Doug because I've got, a low attention span. It's also because he thinks that I've got an insatiable appetite to be liked by people and to love everyone. So I'm like, I am your best friend. I will do anything for you. I will look after you and, fetch your slippers.
Thoughts of dog, thoughts of Katy, same thing.
I am a lovable dog. Unless I'm hungry or I haven't slept well and then I'm a nightmare. Yes. I'm really grumpy.
Yeah. Well, so's my dog. So, he's very eager to please us. But he's also quite introvert, so he's not that eager to please strangers. So he's like, feck off. There's a lot of other people, but
I've had enough of your shit.
Yeah, basically. I'm too old for this shit. Yeah.
Did it age well?
Squirrel. Yeah.
Squirrel?
Did it?
Yes, of course it did.
Squirrel.
It's not old enough, really. But I think if we came back to it 20 years from now, I think it would still hold very well.
Yeah.
It's timeless. It's another timeless.
It is, isn't it?
It's a timeless piece of golden cinema, which we'll always cherish.
A lot of people would say Up is their favourite Disney Pixar movie. A lot of people, I think.
I hope
and
so.
They do. Yeah.
What about Monsters Inc. though? Because that is also wonderful. Wall-E, also a tearjerker.
Oh, Wall-E. Yeah, that gets me. That really gets me again because of the little character of Wall-E is so gorgeous. But I love the message. There's a message in that one which is careful, look after the planet. Which it's not too heavy-handed for a film that is quite depressing about the state of the planet and the future and stuff. And it starts with it like surrounded by garbage satellites, you know. But it doesn't. It's not so heavy-handed. That's the great thing about Pixar is they're not so heavy-handed as to bat you over the head with the theme of the movie.
No, it's beautifully done. It's so gentle. Apparently, before the film's worldwide release date, Pixar granted a wish from 10-year-old Colby Curtin to see the movie before she died. Colby had been diagnosed with cancer and was too sick to go to a theatre, so a Pixar employee flew to the Curtin's house with a DVD of the finished film and screened it for her and her family. And then Curtin died 7 hours later at 9:20 p.m. shortly after seeing the movie.
Whoa! I mean, how do you follow that?
That is some trivia. Oh, rest in peace, Colby Curtin. Okay, so what did we learn, Miles? Well, what did I learn? Well, again, it's another Watership Down theme, isn't it? We sort of we look at grief and joy and community, why it's important to be there for other people. Love doesn't end when someone dies. That letting go isn't forgetting, it's making room for new adventures. It's a reminder to get out there and grab life by the kahunas and just embrace every second, because we do not know how long we've got.
Yeah, and when you're young, you think that's a little bit morbid, don't you? But when you get older, you realize that we every day are faced with different degrees of awful or reasonable. You know, everyone's going through it. We don't even need to cite examples from our own lives. Everyone is going through some heavy crap every day of their life, whether it's life or death or just mental illness or physical, whatever. Everyone's going through it. And I think you do need to be aware of the joy that is there and not look for the misery, because the misery will find you. Sorry, folks, the misery will find you anyway. And
misery loves company. So surround yourself with people who are fun and young at heart.
Exactly.
Ruin scale, I'm going to give this a very juicy 9 out of 10.
Oh, I thought you'd go for a 9, yeah.
I'm going to go for a 9. I was almost thinking 10. I've scribbled it out. I've gone for a 9 out of 10. It's...
Will Katy ever go for a 10? Ever?
No. I'm saving it.
Yeah. I was straight out the gate with Empire Strikes Back, but I knew Watership Down was getting one.
Yes.
And I'm sure, the next season we do, there'll be at least one. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I think if you enjoyed Up, then you would definitely, as we've already mentioned, Wall-E is another Pixar gem that makes you feel all the feelings. Yeah. While gently breaking your heart and rebuilding it. And Monsters Inc. with little Boo.
Boo. Kitty.
Ooh, yeah. Do you know they're turning that into a ride? They're actually they're gonna so that you go, the doors that go along that monorail. Yeah. I think I saw somewhere that they're turning that into an actual roller coaster so that you're going along with a door.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
I wish they'd turn Incredibles into a ride.
How would they do that?
Well, you'd have a monorail with all the 50s stuff going past. You'd have the robots would chase you. Different, like 4 or 5 levels of robot at the end. It would be, you'd have to have characters flying about, fighting each other and stuff like the Avengers. But just the set design and the 50s design of that film is just so gorgeous.
Yeah, that would be another ruined recommendation, actually. It's Mr. Incredible, Bob Parr, and his wife Helen, a.k.a. Elastigirl.
Yeah. Bob, my God, you've gotten fat. Hello, darling. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the funniest films they've done and one of the most stylish, I think. Pixar are great. I want to see some more Pixar movies.
Oh, I do. I think I might just have
Bring
to have
'em
a
on.
Pixar marathon this weekend.
Do it.
It's a shame the weather's so nice. Otherwise, I'd just stay in my pajamas and do nothing.
I know, I can't get away with being inside for long at the moment because Edgar's like, garden, squirrel, garden.
Well, the
He is
same as
Doug.
me in my house. Tom's like, for God's sake. And then throws me a slipper, throws a slipper out the door, and I'm like, whoop, slipper.
Go on, girl. Go on, girl. Get the slipper, girl. Is Timmy down the well, girl?
This is just
Brilliant.
Well, I really enjoyed chatting about Up and Watership Down. We've got some amazing.
Cracking.
We've got an amazing last episode, haven't we? That's coming up
do.
next week. I don't know why I've gone into a Scouse accent, which is
No,
really
I don't
bad.
either.
Oh,
This
yours
shite
is very
shite.
yours is very Beatles.
Mine's sort of Beatles, yeah. If I do that, it's sort of like George. But if I do that, it sounds like Paul O'Grady.
Oh, Paul O'Grady, I loved him.
God rest his soul and his dog-loving antics. I miss him.
Oh, amazing guy. Yeah,
yes.
so next week, and it's the last in the season, and we will be back.
Yes.
We will. It's very sad, but
We'll be back.
we're going to do the blockbuster effect. The mega hits that shaped popular culture and maybe ruined it for you.
Yes, so if you can guess, by the time this comes out and you have a week to the final episode, if you can guess what we're going to cover, let's have the suggestions on all our socials and so forth.
Yeah. Good shout. Let's make them work for the next episode.
Yeah. And what's the website, Katie?
Oh, it's ruinedbyfilms.com.
Lovely.
Well, thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Hope you enjoyed our silliness and chaos, and we will see you next time.
Squirrel!
Thank you for listening to The Films That Ruined Us.
We hope you enjoyed our chat about this week's cinematic obsession.
And if you did, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, or share the podcast with your fellow movie lovers.
You can also follow us on @RuinedByFilms for behind-the-scenes content, bonus impressions, and much more.
Until next week, remember,
Some films don't just stick with you, they ruin you.